So, and I think it also speaks to the fact that AI is driving companies to explore all kinds of different areas, and it's pushing in different directions. And sort of our last piece of industry news is, I think, a really interesting acquisition by ServiceNow that they have. So they are, I believe it's this week, making some new announcements around their agentic AI efforts. So we'll be talking about that next week, I'm sure. But in the meantime, they made an acquisition of a company called CueIn. And CueIn, I'm still honestly trying to figure out exactly what they do, but from what I'm understanding is that they are basically a a data analytics company focused on AI-based conversations is how I'm understanding it. But saliently, they are focused on customer interactions, is the data that they're specifically mining. And so the use case, as I understand it, is that there is a conversation going on between a customer and maybe an AI bot and a human agent, and this system is being used to capture the compilation of those conversations and mine it for sentiment, mine it for different elements that allow you to both tune models and improve the service. So all that's interesting. We talked a lot. I think investments in data by both the tech industry and CIOs are essential and critical. The part that I found most interesting about this announcement is that it's a clear indication that ServiceNow is going to continue their march away from what they had said their focus was, which was internal workflows, into much more customer-facing efforts and workflows. They did it in a partnership with, I think it was Genesis, right, which is customer facing. This kind of, so clearly they're starting to spread their wings, and that's going to put them on a collision course with people like Salesforce and a whole bunch of other players like that. So I thought it was an interesting acquisition and interesting signal. I mean, what was your take?
Yeah, so we're not financial analysts, but we can look at stock prices. And when you look at ServiceNow's stock price right now, it's an insane multiple compared to their revenue. And in most cases, you'd say, "Oh, this is a ridiculous number." But in ServiceNow's case, it actually makes sense because they have such ridiculous greenfield opportunities across the board. Their name literally says ServiceNow, and that is the opportunity, being able to improve service across every area and make everything more immediate. And they've really been focusing on workflows to this point. The CueIn acquisition obviously helps them to deal with more direct consumer and customer use cases across the board. And it'll be really interesting to see whether that's a step towards creating a full-fledged set of contact center and field service tools going forward, and digging into the CRM space and all of that, which is an opportunity, which are opportunities for them that can be supported by these workflows and the platform that they have in place. The one other concern that I have is that ServiceNow is pretty famous for re-platforming their applications, which can sometimes cause a delay in deploying the applications that they have acquired. But I did have a quick chat with ServiceNow. Their strategy seems to be to integrate for this year and then re-platform for next year. So although they will be re-platforming, it will not be a functional impediment to using the CueIn product in the near future.
So I'm curious your take on it. I mean, so Bill McDermott, of course, came from SAP, the ServiceNow's current CEO. And I don't know that I've actually heard him explicitly say one way or the other in terms of their forward direction. His predecessor, Donahoe, was very clear. I happened to interview him as well a few years back. And he was very explicit about not wanting to tread on the likes of Salesforce and Oracle and those that were others that were customer facing and sort of staying in their lane. Do you, I mean, again, I'm seeing this as them definitely sort of expanding and sort of spreading their wings. Do you think this is a good thing, a bad thing for them? Do you think it's something they have to do because of that multiple? I mean, I'm curious what your take on it is.
Well, yeah, I think they have to do it, but I think it is a position of strength that ServiceNow is treating call it, I don't have a great name for it, but kind of their collection of workflows the same way that most enterprise applications treated their core data. They're treating the set of defined interactions as the core of what they're able to support, I think that's smart. And it's something that is hard to replicate. Anytime you have that inherent advantage, it's always a good place to start for building this your own proprietary silo, which is always what happens at the end of the day with large enterprise application companies. There's no real way around it. The best you can do is make your silo as open and interoperable as possible, which ServiceNow has done. Their APIs are pretty accessible. I don't think anybody really complains that they can't integrate
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
access ServiceNow data.
Well, I do think it's interesting. I don't envy being a CIO today, trying to sort through all of this and figure out where you place your bets with so many sort of, even if they're not directly competing, overlaying, domains of service. It's certainly challenging.